Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Vita Eviana. My student number is 205240818. And in this video, I will explain about the material of methodology study Islam course. So I will explain the summary of the material from chapter 1 until chapter 6. So let's listen together. Okay, we will include in the chapter 1 with the title is Introduction to Islamic Studies Methodology. What is the Islamic Studies methodology? So, etymologically, the methodology comes from the words method. Its meaning the way, and the logos, it has the meaning that science. So, Islamic studies is a conscious and systematic effort to deeply examine various aspects of the Islamic religions. And then, what is purpose to learn about the methodology of Islam studies? So, the purpose is to understand the essence of Islam, study its original teachings, and deeply grasp its fundamental values. And the significance, Islamic study method plays an important role in bridging sacred texts with social reality and providing solution to the community's issues in the modern era. Okay, that's enough for the chapter 1. Now we will go to the chapter 2. What the title is chapter 2? Chapter 2 is explain about the history of the growth and development of Islamic studies in the world. Wow, I think it's interesting topic. And then what the content of this material? So let's learn together. The point number 1 is Golden Age. Golden Age is Islam rich with great figures like Al-Khawarizmi and Ibn Sina. Yes, we know of course that Ibn Sina is the figure of doctor. So he find the great science. So the material number 2 or chapter 2, history of Golden Age, we will learn about the key cities like Baghdad, to be precise at Nizamia, Cairo, Al-Azhar, and Cordoba become centers for knowledge transfer. Wow, we know that this city being a center of Islam in this moment, in this age. In that age, I'm sorry. So, the Islamic studies in the West initially emerged through Orientalism for political interests, but has now developed into an interdisciplinary field at renowned universities like Oxford and Harvard. Oh, I think the university like Oxford and Harvard, it has the same level with the University of Islam in that moment or in that age. In Indonesia, it evolved from non-formal pesantren education to formal education such as madrasah, culminating in the transformation of EIN into UIN in 2002. And then after we learn about the history of Golden Age of Islam in the chapter 2, now we will learn about the chapter 3. What is the chapter 3? Chapter 3 is learn or explain about the religion in human life. Wow, we will learn about our life because we are human, of course. And then definition about the religion in human life is a belief system that functions as a guide for individual life. It have some functions such as spiritual. In the spiritual context, it help us to connection with God, with Allah, of course. And then the moral value is guideline for good and bad. We know what is good and what is bad. And then the social strengthening brotherhood. And the last is psychological. What is the function in the psychological aspect? It's help us to source of inner peace. Yes. And the challenges that we face in our environment, in the religion in human life is religion faces challenges from globalization, secularization, and the development of science and technology, which demand a more contextual understanding. And that's enough for the chapter 3. Now we will begin to learn about the chapter 4. Yes, chapter 4 is explained about the characteristic and dimension of Islamic teachings. Yes, the characteristic of dimension in the Islamic teaching. So we will learn about the how to teaching Islam theory, Islam religion in this era. So it of course has the challenge and strength too. So we will start to learn about the chapter for characteristic and dimension of Islamic teachings. It have some characteristics such as Robania, Shumulia, Wasotia, and Alamia. The first is Robania. What is the Robania? Robania is originating from Allah. Wow, I think it's pure or real theory from Allah, such as Quran and Hadith. Hadith is the message from our Prophet Muhammad SAW that comes from Allah. And the number two is Shumulia. Shumulia is comprehensive and covering all aspects of life. Yes, I think the aspect of life in this context it includes such as economy, psychology, education, and others. And then number three is Wasatiyah. Wasatiyah is moderate and balanced. Oh, yes, I know. Wasatiyah, I think it's the condition when we can balance our life, such as what time which we will must important or must priority the religion, and when we must keep our dunya. And then the last is Alamiyah. Alamiyah is universal for all of humanity. As Alamiyah, it has the more universal form for the humanity, such as me, you, and others human. It more universal is Alamiyah. The science is explained about the universal things. And then we will learn about the dimension in the Islamic teachings in this era. So the dimension include aqidah. Aqidah is belief. Yes, we can say that aqidah is belief. When we believe in Allah, totally, so we will feel peace in our life. So that's theory of the aqidah. And then the other dimension is ibadah. Ibadah is the content with practice. Yes, when we practice the way to make the religion, so that's called ibadah. And then the next dimension is akhlak. Akhlak is behavior. So it's relate with why we do with other people. Yes, what we character with them, what we behavior with them, what we say and action with them. So it's called by akhlak. And then as well as social, political, and economic dimension. Oh, the dimension is include about the political and economic too. Okay, that's enough for the chapter 4 about the characteristic and dimension of Islamic studies. So we will go to the chapter 5. What is chapter 5? Chapter 5 is explained about the Islam as a cultural phenomenon. Wow. We will learn about the phenomenological in our environment. What is that? The concept of Islam is viewed not only as a heavenly doctrine but as a living reality that interacts with its environment. So Islam is relate or connect with our environment. And then acculturation. Oh, maybe in this our environment happen the acculturation in Indonesia, to be precise, adapted to local culture through visible dakwah. Yes, you know that when Sunan Kalijaga is dakwah in Indonesian citizens, so he used the way to interest the citizens' heart or attention with the wayang. So that's called acculturation of culture. Example, other example is Sekatan and Grebek Maulud traditions, wayang kulit art, and the architecture of the Demak Mosque, which uses of tiered roof, distinctly Javanese rather than a dome. That's mouse. There is a mouse in Demak, which use the Javanese architecture. So it's the collaboration, it's the acculturation between the culture and the religion too. Okay, and that's enough for the chapter 5. Now we will start to learn about chapter 6. What is chapter 6? Chapter 6 is explain about the methods of Islamic studies. Wow, I think it's not too different with the chapter 1. It's explain or learn about the method too. So, what is we will learn about the methods? There are some type of the methods which we can use in Islamic studies. Number 2 is Bayani methods. Bayani methods is focused on the text of the Quran and Hadith. Yes, the main source of Islam is Quran and Hadith. It's called Bayani, and then Burhani is uses logic and rationally. So it's more different with Bayani because the Burhani uses logic and rationality. And number 3 is Irfani. What is Irfani? Based on inner or spiritual experience, such as the experience about the person who always doing tahajjud pray. So I think it has special experience from them, so it's called Irfani. And then synthesis is combined traditional and rational methods. Yes, it has the purpose to consider the most ideal and ultimate goal for us to have an open mindset, prevent fanaticism, and remain relevant to modern developments. Well, okay, I think it's enough. That's for me to explain about the methodology study Islam for the chapter 1 until chapter 6. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.